I know this is going to get a bit complicated with a lot of abbreviations and technical terms, so before we begin, I think you should define some of the terms you'll be using.
That's a good idea. Let's start with OPWDD, which stands for the Office of People with Developmental Disabilities. This office oversees the allocation of services to those with developmental disabilities. The next term we'll tackle is the Front Door Department, which is a division of OPWDD that determines whether an individual is eligible for services and what services would best serve this individual. The front door process is a series of steps that parents and individuals must go through in order to enroll into any services they want or need. Finally, a Medicaid Service Coordination Agency, or MSC agency, is an organization that helps parents obtain any services for their children that fall under the Medicaid service umbrella. A Medicaid Service Coordinator, MSC, who works for this agency will be assigned to a child's case. They act as a caseworker and are truly the key to the door of the Medicaid service world.
Wow, that's a lot of terms.
I know, right? It can be overwhelming for professionals, let alone parents. That's why it's a good idea for parents to get in touch with an MSC agency. They have professionals trained in dealing with this long and potentially frustrating process. This being said, remember that even the best professionals can make mistakes. Thus, parents must remain actively involved in every step of the process, and it pays to stay organized. That means setting up a front door file where they keep the important documents relating to their son or daughter's case, including evaluations and anything they receive from the state.
Now that we've got that out of the way, let's use a hypothetical individual and take them through the front door process.
Okay, let's use Susie this time. After Susie's gotten all the necessary evaluations, there are 3 things that need to happen in no particular order. Susie's parents must get in contact with the front door line. The parents will either speak with a representative or, more likely, leave a message listing their contact information and some information about Susie. After parents make this initial contact, Susie will be assigned a front door representative who will remain with Susie as she goes through the entire front door process. Susie's parents should definitely keep this representative's name and contact information on file. This return call will also be the parents' first opportunity to ask questions and for potential guidance finding an MSC agency. Another step Susie's parents need to go through is attending a front door training session held by OPWDD. The purpose of this session is to help parents develop an understanding of the front door process and what services are out there. It's very important that parents sign in at the event so they can receive a certificate proving they've attended. Lastly, the aforementioned clinical evaluations must be submitted to the state. Where Susie's parents submit these documents depends on what borough Susie lives in. The front door line can tell you exactly what address to use. If Susie is found eligible to receive services, the state will send a letter of approval parents must keep on file. Next, the Eligibility Assessment and Authorization, EAA, and the Developmental Disability Profile Registration 2, DDP2, must be performed by the front door representative. These 2 assessment tools are used to get an idea of Susie's needs. Information of these tools are gathered either on the phone or in person. It's very important that Susie's parents are honest about Susie's disabilities during this step. If her disabilities aren't fully explained, then she won't get all the services she needs. Many providers like to say, talk about Susie on her worst day, not on her best. Once Susie's needs are evaluated, the front door representative will help her and her family determine what services best meet those needs. It's important that the family be vocal in requesting any services they are interested in. This could be anything from programs centered on academics or programs centered around assisting with employment. If the family has been working with an MSC throughout this process, as is recommended, they should be included in this discussion. The MSC may have a better knowledge of Susie's needs than the front door representative, and later on, will also have an integral part in getting Susie enrolled in services. If an MSC has not been selected by this point, the entire front door process comes to a halt until one is found. After the front door representative performs the DDP2 and EAA, the parents and MSC agency will receive an authorization form and PISP. Receiving these documents completes the front door process. But parents must remember, although the MSC is a trained professional, Susie's parents will always be her best advocates.
Wow, that must feel great to finally be done.
Not so fast. While parents are done with the front door process, there are still several more steps an MSC must go through to get their child enrolled into services. I know it's complicated, time-consuming, and frustrating, but with help, persistence, and a lot of patience, it can get done.